Alright students, we're on 5-3 today. We're going to compare ratios. We have been comparing ratios some. You need pages 279 to 283 in your book, and I'll give you a minute to find that. And you have a vocabulary and a reteaching page that you're going to work on today also. As you can tell from yesterday, as time goes by, you're going to be doing more and more of the work, and I'm going to be doing less and less. So you need to pay close attention when we're working on the video, because then you're going to be to work on your own. Okay, lesson 5.3, comparing ratios. Scott is making a snack mix using almonds and raisins. For every 2 cups of almonds in the snack mix, there are 3 cups of raisins. Ariel is making a snack mix that has 3 cups of almonds for every 5 cups of sunflower seeds. If Scott and Ariel each use 6 cups of almonds to make a batch of snacks mix, who will make a larger batch? So I want to know who's going to have the most batch in the bowl when we're done. So let's make us a chart. Look back up there, and we've got Scott and we've got Ariel. So we're going to do Scott and we got Ariel. And let's see, we got almonds and raisins. So Scott, for every 2 cups of almonds, he's putting 3 cups of raisins. And Ariel, for every 3 cups of almonds, she's putting 5 cups of sunflower seeds. But the question is, if each of them use 6 cups, so to make another batch over here, here's one batch, and I want to make another batch. But I want this batch right here, I want it to have 6. So how do I turn 2 into 6? Well, I multiply times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? Now, I want to take Ariel's ratio, or rate, and I want to turn that into a 6. We want the almond to be 6 cups of almonds. So I had to multiply hers by 2 to turn that into a 6. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now then, how big a batch is it? Well, 9 and 6 is 15 cups total. And Ariel's is 6 and 10 is 16 cups total. So who will make the larger batch? Well, Ariel will. There's your larger batch right there. So you should write a little sentence. Ariel will have 1 cup more total than Scott. And you could say that however you wanted to. All right, let's go down to the focus on math practices. Scott and Ariel want to make as much snack mix as possible, but no more than 25 cups total. If they can use only full cups of ingredients, who can make more mix without going over? Okay, let's go back up here, and let's take Scott and multiply by, let's see, this was by 3 to get here. Let's go by 4. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. If you added those together, you'd get 20. Let's go one more batch. Let's go 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 5 is 15. If you added those together, you'd get 25. So right there, she's up to that. Who can make more mix without going over? Okay, let's see if we can get this one up there. 2 times 3 is 6, so we did 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 5 is 15. That's 24. But if we go one more, it's going to be more than 25. Do you see what I'm saying? So 3 times 4 is 12, and 5 times 4 is 20. So now they've gone over because that's 20 and 12 is 32 cups. Okay, so how do we want to say our answer right there? Scott can make exactly, he can make a mix of exactly 25 cups. We see that right there. There's a total of 25. Okay, let's go to page 280. Essential question, how can you compare ratios to solve a problem? All right, comparing ratios. Dustin had 3 hits for every 8 at-bats. Adrian had 4 hits for every 10 at-bats ratio. How can you use ratio tables to compare ratios? Let's see, here's Dustin and Adrian. We've made some charts down here. It says extend and complete the ratio tables for Dustin and Adrian. His was 3 to 8, his was 4 to 10. So now we want to double that. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 8 is 16. We want to triple it. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 8 is 24. By 4, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 8 is 32. By 5, 3 times 5 is 15, 8 times 5 is 40. Same thing over here. Adrian gets 16 hits for every 40 at-bats. They've already found this for you. Question is, compare the number of hits that Dustin and Adrian each get with 40 at-bats. Well, he's going to get 16 hits. He's only going to get 15 hits. Okay? So he's going to get more hits for the same number of at-bats. So who has a better hits to bats ratio? Adrian does. This one does. All right, let's go down to the try it. Marion had 6 hits in 15 at-bats. How does Marion's hits to at-bats ratio compare to Adrian's? Okay, let's make this a 6 to 15. And we're trying to get to, hold on just a second. Okay, let me read this again. Marion had 6 hits and 15 at-bats. How does Marion's hits to at-bats compare to Adrian's? So I want to go backwards and get this down to its lowest form. If I take 6 and divide it by 3, I can't work with that like that. I have to have it like this. 6 to 15, on divide by 3, I get 2 to 5. Now let's go back up here to Adrian's. If I take 4 and divide it by 2, I get 2. And 10 divided by 2, I get 5. I get 2 to 5. So Adrian's basic ratio was 2 to 5. Marion's basic ratio is 2 to 5. So they are the same. Now, they don't look the same. 6 to 15 does not look the same as 4 to 10. But when you reduce the fraction to its lowest form and compare the lowest forms, they are the same. All right, let's do the convince me. Based on their hits to at-bat ratios, who would you expect to have more hits in a game, Marion or Dustin? Marion or Dustin? Expect to have more hits in a game. Now let's see. We're comparing 3 to 8 we're going to compare to 2 to 5. Well, didn't we say a while ago that Adrian was 2 to 5 and he was better than Dustin? And Adrian and Marion are the same, so it's going to be Marion. Marion is the same as Adrian, and both are better than Dustin. Dustin needs to practice hitting. Marion is the same as Adrian, 2 to 5, and both are better than Dustin. And we know that because right here, Adrian had 16 hits out of 40, and Dustin had 15 hits out of 40. And Adrian and Marion has the same ratio. All right, let's go to example number 2. Compare ratios to solve problems. Due to compatibility and size restrictions, only certain types of fish can live together in an aquarium. If there are 15 mollies in each tank with the ratios shown at the right, which tank has more fish? So 4 guppies to 5 mollies, 2 angelfish to 3 mollies. Let me read that again. If there are 15 mollies in each tank, so there's 15 here, so I multiplied 3, so I got, to get 15 mollies here, I got to do 3 times 4, I got 12 guppies here, and I got 15 mollies here, that's 5 times 3 to get 15, so I got 10 angelfish. You see what I just did? They want, if there are 15 mollies in each tank, so I'm going to change that from a 5 to a 15. Well, how do I do that? I multiplied times 3. So this 4 has got to be multiplied by the same 3 to get 12. I got 15 instead of the 3, so I multiplied 3 by 5 to turn it into 15, so I got to multiply that by 5 to turn it into 10. Now, the way they did it, they made a table. Make a table to show the ratio of guppies to mollies. I got guppies to mollies, and it's a ratio of 4 to 5, and I keep going until I turn that into 15. To make a table with angelfish and mollies. Start with what they gave you and keep going until you turn the mollies into 15. Okay? Step number 3. Add to find the total number of fish in each aquarium. Tank 1. There's 12 guppies and 15 mollies, so there's 27 fish. Tank 2, there's 10 angelfish and 15 mollies, so there's 25. Tank 1 has more fish. It's got 2 more fish in it than tank 2. Okay, try it. Tank 3 has a ratio of 3 guppies for every 4 angelfish. Complete the ratio table to find the number of angelfish in tank 3 with 12 guppies. So times 2 is 6, times 2 is 8. The 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Now, using the information, example 2, and the table at the right, which tank with guppies has more fish? What's the total of fish? Let's see, tank 1 had 27, right up here. Tank 1 had 27. Tank 2 had 25, and now 12 and 16 is 10, 28. Tank 3 has got 28. So Which tank with guppies has more fish? Answer, tank 3. Okay, turn your paper over, and we're to the key concept. You can use ratio tables to compare ratios when one of the corresponding terms is the same. We got Theresa's purple paint mixture. She started 2 to 5, and now she's got it built up to 6 to 15. Hala's purple paint mixture. Cups of blue paint. When the 6s match, which one's using more red paint? Well, Theresa's using more in hers, so hers is going to be a little bit more red than Hala's is. All right, do you understand? Number 1. How can you compare ratios to solve a problem? I would use ratio tables, and when you find one number that matches, then you can compare the others. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. When you make a ratio table, and when your 6s match, then you can compare your other number and make a determination on that. So, use ratio tables to find where one term matches, comma, then compare the other term. Use ratio tables to find where one term matches, then compare the other term. Number 2. In example 1, how many hits would Adrian have in 50 at-bats? Okay, I'm going to go back over here to this chart. Notice this column is going by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and this one's growing by 4 each time. So 16 plus 4 is 20. So the question was, how many hits would Adrian have when it's 50 at-bats? So how many hits would he have? 20. 20 hits. Explain. That was 20 to 50. 20 to 50 is equal to 4 to 10. The equivalent ratio, 20 to 50, is equivalent to 4 to 10. Number 3. During the first week of a summer camp, 2 out of 3 campers were boys. During the second week, 3 out of 5 campers were boys. There were total 15 campers each week. During which week were there more boy campers? The first week, there was a total of 3s. So, we got 2 to 3. These are boys. 2 out of 3 were boys. So this is boys and this is total. And that's 1 week. The next week it was 3 to 5. And this is boys and this is total. Okay. There were 15 total campers each week. So I need to get this number, this total number, to be a 15. What do I have to do to 3 to turn it into 15? Well, I got to multiply times 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. So there must have been 10 boys there that week. I got to turn this total into 15. What do I multiply times 5? Well, it's 3 this time. And 3 times 3 is 9. This was week 1. This was week 2. During which week were there more boy campers? And that would be week 1. There were 10. Okay, number 4. To make plaster, Kevin mixes 3 cups of water with 4 pounds of plaster powder. Complete the ratio table. How much water will Kevin mix with 20 pounds of powder? Okay, so here's my basic, and I'm multiplying by 2, then by 3, then by 4, then by 5. Okay, so 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6. Next column is by 3. This was by 2. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. This one's by 4. 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. The last one is by 5. 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4 is 20. How much water right here will he mix with 20 pounds of powder? So he's going to put 15 cups of water. All right, let's go to number 5. Jenny makes plaster using a ratio of 4 to 5. Here's her ratio, 4 to 5. Whose plaster recipe uses more water? And use the ratio table here in exercise 4 to compare. So we're going to finish this table out, then we're going to go back and read our question again. Well, how did they get from here to here? It was times 2. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 5 is 10. This is a times 3. 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. This is a times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. All right, so Jenny makes plaster using a ratio of 4 to 5. Whose plaster recipe uses more water? Well, up here, they use 15 cups of water to 20. She's going to use 16 cups of water for 20. So Jenny uses more water. For the same amount of plaster, she uses more water. Okay? Number 6. Kevin and Jenny each use 12 cups of water to make plaster. Who will make more plaster? Kevin and Jenny. 12 cups of water to make plaster. Okay, Kevin uses 12 cups of water. He's going to use, well, let's figure that out, 10, 28. We added those together. And this is going to be 27. So Kevin's going to make more plaster. Kevin will make more plaster. Okay, so I found where this was 12, and I added these two numbers together. That's 10, 20, and 6 and 2 is 8. That's 28. For Jenny, 10, 20, 5 and 2 is 7. That's 27. 28 is more than 27, because 28 is greater than 27. There's my rationale. Okay? Because one's going to use more powder than the other one. All right, let's look at the practice and problem solving. Okay, I think you're getting the hang of these ratios and proportions, I hope, or just ratios, equivalent ratios. I'm going to assign to you just page 283. Page 283. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 6 problems on that page. And then you have your additional vocabulary and your reteaching page to do also. So you have 3 things to finish in class today: the reteaching, the vocabulary, and page 283. And your teacher will decide whether to give you a quiz over this or not. Okay, that's your lesson for today. And it was comparing ratios. Comparing ratios. So get busy and do some thinking, and I'll be with you again next time.